the engineering way here. So many of you guys are my viewers, and I'm sure you're all engineering students that are pursuing a degree in your respective field, right? Whether that's in industrial, whether that's in mechanical, electrical, and aerospace, you all probably are looking for an internship because probably been told many times that if you want a job, it's better to have an internship before you graduate. And you're absolutely right? Whoever told you that. So, but landing an internship is not easy, right? Especially you want to land an internship at your dream job, the dream company, is even harder. And personally, I landed an internship with Blue last fall, and it was an amazing experience. I absolutely loved it, and I feel like maybe sharing my experience on how I got to that point and some of my experience might give you some ideas about how you want to pursue and plan your academic careers and finally reach your dream job. So, how I think of it is to successful land an internship at your dream company, the first thing you have is probably like projects, right? Technical engineering projects. Now, as an engineering student for your first or second year, it's probably going to be hard for you to land a position, right? Like you might not like gotten into your engineering courses yet. You might still taking gen eds. Even if you did, like as a freshman company, it's hard for companies to take you seriously, right? Even though you might have AP credits. So a great alternative is that over that summer or over that winter break, the first winter summer break, do engineering projects, right? I was very lucky to have a great friend. He was a woodworker lover. He accompanied me to build a speaker that I still use till this day, still functions. And he provided the material. He taught me how to use the engineering tools. It was a great experience, right? It shows that you are an engineering student, and you love engineering, right? You love problem solving. You love getting your hands dirty and work on things, right? That's the engineering spirit, not just like, oh, I study hard so I can make a lot of money. I mean, true, right? Like engineering pays well, but you don't want to say that in an interview, right? You want to sound interesting, and you have to demonstrate that you are actually interesting. So engineering projects is a great example. And you know, personally, I work on a speaker. Uh, there are many ideas online, right? Just look up engineering projects for internships for college students, undergrads. There's a bunch of ideas where they're Arduinos with SolidWorks with all kinds of stuff, right? And the next thing is I want to talk about is GPA. So keeping a good GPA is important. Is some people might tell you it's not. Well, yes, right. There are situations where, like, I know the CEO of Rocket Lab, he didn't have a good GPA. He didn't got hired, so he started his own company. Great. If you think you can do that, then drop out of school, like what's his name, Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, and start your own company, right? And just so you know, this is not an academic. I'm not your counselor. Take an advice. Don't take the advice as a professional advice, right? But so showing keeping a good GPA. Why? Is because you want to show that you're capable of learning new materials, right? My personal experience at Blue, when I went there, I had to learn so much, right? I mean, sure, I know the fundamentals, but like that's a must know. Like you study thermodynamics, you study propulsions, and then you speak with the engineers. Like, yeah, you're supposed to know that. And with that knowledge, you build new concepts, right? So keeping a GPA shows the recruiter, shows the people that you're capable of learning, and you're capable of learning it well. And then when you're being tested on it, you can do a good job, right? That's what engineering is for. Sorry, GPA is for. So keeping it above 3.6, right? Usually that's a good indication that you are a good student. 3.8, 4.0, that's even better. And also, I spoke with HRs and other people, right, and that are working in the industry, and they said like there are a mechanism where they will filter out your GPA, filter out your application due to your low GPA if you don't hit their minimum mark. So, unless you know the recruiter or the HR, you might not even make it to the round where a real person reads your resume. So, having a good GPA, you know, it boosts the chance, at least helps you pass through the first gate sometimes. Lastly is clubs, right? So engineering clubs, Rackle Club, Atomic Aggies, or what is it called? Design Build Fly, F1, Formula. There are great clubs out there. Just join them and you gain experience. You might work on something. Choose the things you like, right? Like I know that the president for our rocket club, he built a air brake system with his team, right? He led that project, and that was fantastic, right? And he learned a lot about flow simulations. He learned a lot about like research in general and like what their functionality is on a rocket. So having clubs experience is very important. And I spoke with HRs that I've spoken with have said like club experience and really demonstrate that you contributed something to that club is a very good indication of you being a great candidate. And then there's research. So after you have clubs, GPS, and projects, you might gain enough experience that a professor might be interested in you, or you know another great idea is like build a good relationship with your professor, right? Go to their office hours, talk to them, show that you have an eager interest into studying more, right? To dig deeper into things. And usually they might invite you or you talk to them. They might have like a research assistant position for you, right? Personally, I did flow simulations. So with that experience, like when you apply, let's say a fluid test engineer position, that would be a great indication because I did something similar in that region, right? And but research is not like a must, right? Because usually people that want to pursue a PhD or master's, research values more on their resume than if you're working in industry. But when you don't have anything, research is really, really good. And the next thing is internships. So getting into your dream jobs, right? Like companies like Apple, Google, Blue, Tesla, it's going like the best of the best in their industry. It's going to be hard. Like they're probably not going to be your first internship, right? Most likely not. And I spoke with the president of the rocket club of my school. He went to SpaceX. The vice president went to Virgin Galactic, and they all said like it's probably not going to be your first internship. Like you have to have research positions. Or I know the president, he had like an experience at Raytheon, and then the first experience he had was like a construction company, right? So having a internship with a company that are related to your field will carry you a long way, and that is that values the most, right, in terms of points. As you can tell, this is a hexagon, so if you play video games you probably know that, like, replace those things that I've shared with like strength, stealth, defense, right? If you're a hexagon warrior, then you're probably the strongest in the game already. And this, think of it like that way, right? Like internship with other companies will give you a lot of points, will set you ahead. And lastly, you might not think of it, but it's actually soft skills. And I cannot stress how important this is. Like on your resume, whether you did TED Talks, theater, presentations, uh, let's say like debate club and stuff like that, shows that you're a person capable of communicating with others, right? When I was at Blue, there were a lot of communications. Like, sure, engineers deal with numbers, dealing with questions, solving problems, but a lot of it is that you're solving and doing all that stuff with another person or with multiple people, excuse me, right? So capable of communicating, capable of a discussion, you know, uh, consolidations, discussions, these things, comes from your soft skills, right? And also you're a student, you're undergraduate student, right? Your knowledge compared to the professional employees is insignificant most of the time, right? So to show that you're humble, to show that you're capable of, you know, asking questions to others, like instead of, I'm the best, I can learn anything. No, like, if you are, then why are you interning? Why aren't you starting your own company? Right? That's the question you should probably ask yourself. So, like, don't feel shy, don't feel like you have to be the best. As Confucius said, a person that asks a question is a fool for a minute. A person that don't ask questions are a fool for the rest of your life. Right? So ask questions, show that you are enthusiastic about the company, enthusiastic about the job, and passionate about it, and that you're willing to put in the work, right? A lot of it is to show that what kind of person you are, because in the end, people is going to have to work with you, right? And able to do that is super important, right? People have to enjoy working with you. So hopefully, these is again not professional advice, just personal advice to see, that might support you and assist you on your journey to get your dream job. Lastly, is my experience at Blue. Because of proprietary information, I couldn't share much, right? But my work there was absolutely amazing, right? It was anything I could ask for. The employees was amazing. I love my Blue guide. I'm still in contact with him. He's still, giving me technical as well as, like, personal advice on things. You know, I got invited to his family to have Thanksgiving with them because he knows that I couldn't go back. Like, it was just a lovely experience. It was just like a family, right? As an intern at Blue, I got to travel to different locations, to Seattle, to Texas, almost to Florida, but because the hurricane, it got canceled. But they're willing to train their interns like one of their employees. They're willing to invest in the money and the time and the energy. Like, that's what big and successful companies are, can provide, right? So, you know, internship over there will teach you a lot of things. And, another thing is that I feel proud of going to work every day, right? Like, I worked on the BE4 engines, I performed the checkouts on them. Going to go into the manufacturing site and seeing a orbital capable engine, right in front of you every day, it's just a dream come true, right? For any engineering students. Well, sorry, speaking on my behalf, if you're aerospace, it's probably true, right? If you want to work on rockets. So it was absolutely amazing. I 100% recommend it, right? To definitely, try your best to land an internship at your dream company. It really motivates you, right? To learn more and to try more. Uh, I think with this, there was like a motivator, aspiring speaker. He says that, you know, go rent out the best car that you want, eat at the best restaurant you want to eat, and travel to the places. And at that, once you experienced it, it motivates you. You want to work harder, right? To try to experience that again, right? Instead of having that, mindset of like, oh, I'm not good enough, etc. Right? You are, so go do it. And lastly, best of luck. Right? Summer is approaching as I was recording this video, so hopefully you have internship lined up with your dream company. If not, to see if there's any internship available. Personal engineering projects or research positions are all great things to have on your resume. So, best of luck with your academic and career path. Bye bye.